Okay, is that better? Hey, I was not on mute, but I don't know, I just checked. Okay, so maybe there was some issue in the transmission. Okay, so think about the big things before you do the small things. And with that, let's dive into our quick overview. Before that, dude, 25th of February, I am vanishing myself from the screen. I will come back once the electricity comes back. There seems to be a power cut today at my place. So, All India Maharashtra CET Open Mock is live. Today is the second last day. If you have not attempted it yet, please go ahead and attempt it at the earliest. And here are the tentative dates, 9th and 10th of March. Every day when I take this session for you guys, the first thing that I do, the absolute first thing that I do is I go on to look at the Maharashtra CET state cell and see if there is any new notification that has come out. So as of an hour before, there was no new notification, and we are treating it as 9th and 10th of March consequently. You know the kind of scores that we are targeting by now. You know that we have a fabulous crash course for you that can help you level up your preparation. And here is the overview of the exam. Marking scheme, +1, no negative marking, but then once again, I'd say that do read the directions carefully. Past, whatever happened in the past is no guarantee of that happening in future. So, and broadly speaking, we get questions from these 4 sections. Even the numbers that I've put in here are approximate, and they may not even be completely segregated. They can give you a jumbled paper with, you know, you solving logical reasoning, and the very next question is a VA question and the next one is a quant. You never know. Those things have happened in the past, and consequently we should gear up for that as well. Okay, so here is the real deal now. VA and RC, you get asked questions from these basic areas, and therefore these are the ones that you need to focus on and prepare about. Yes, still so far, yeah, tentative, yes, but when it comes to Maharashtra CET, पता नहीं अंदर से लगता रहता है कि यार postpone करेंगे, होगा नहीं होगा. You're never certain until that exam happens. So anyhow, with that, let us start. Here are the directions for the first 5 questions. So once again, after a gap, I am bringing in a reading comprehension passage for you. No, on an average, the passage is easier than the CAT. However, in between, there are times when they actually sneak in some difficult RC passages too. So don't get surprised if you come across something that is tough. So I'll take you through the passage slide by slide, and that passage will be followed by 5 questions, starting with the first paragraph. Here you go. Go ahead and start reading it, please. Done. Fabulous. Here is the next one. Vinayak, so far the dates that are available to us say 9th and 10th March. Ayanab, no guarantees. In the past, we have seen small passages, we have seen lengthy passages. I've basically taken you through both the varieties across my sessions. In fact, remember, apart from this 100 questions, there is a parallel series that I'm running on VARC. I'll in fact be taking the next session tomorrow at 12, where I will be focusing on the verbal reasoning question, the kind of verbal reasoning questions that we get in the exam. Okay, here is next. Rutuja, if you, I doubt if you will have access to last year's or the papers of the year before that. So when I talk about Maharashtra CET last year or a year before that, there were some sets which were challenging. So until around 2018, 2019, paper was, in fact, even 2020, paper was definitely easier. But the last couple of years, the last 3-4 years suggest that they have this potential of making it difficult. Okay, and whenever you write a mock, whether it is easy or difficult is immaterial. You know that what matters is the percentile, right? If it is easy, it's easy for everyone. If it's tough for everyone. So we have it there. So ignore that. Here is the next paragraph. So what do you do, Rutuja? Prepare for the worst case scenario, which is prepare for a tough paper, but then and then let's see how it works. All right. So with that, let's dive into our questions. So question number 1 on your screen, can you give me the main idea of the passage? Okay, so in this particular case, you know that I prefer working with elimination. So some of them are very easy to rule out. For example, B and D, I think most of us will find it easy to rule out. Now C is narrow because the passage does talk about increased human population and its effect, but then it ignores the rest of the part which talks about the threat to the species. And there is strategy mentioned, but only in the last paragraph. And therefore, this also becomes narrow, and as a result, we should go ahead and pick up A as an answer, which I think most of you have actually gone on to do as well. So here is the next one. Question number 2 on your screen. Maybe. I did not find Harshit. I did not really find it very close, but it's okay. I can understand. Hmm. Okay, so first can be eliminated, which means that options D and E are also eliminated. Second is mentioned in the passage, so yes, that's true. How about third? 40% of amphibian species are under the threat of extinction. Now, if I take you back to the passage, mm, so the passage tells me that 2 in 5 amphibian species are under threat. Now tell me, can I say 2 in 5? Isn't that equal to 40%? It is, right? So even this is true, and therefore our answer should be C. I mean, Jeet, 2 out of 5. My God, 2 out of 5 in terms of percent will be 40, नो 80 किधर से आ गया? मैं तो मैथ पढ़ाता भी नहीं हूँ, मैं तो कमज़ोर भी हूँ यार। मैं कमज़ोर तो खैर नहीं हूँ मैथ्स में, बट हाँ that's okay. Okay, here is the next one. This is not, I refuse to call it math, yaar. This is something that all of us should know. Okay, here is question number 3. So, if I look at this particular question, I will say that this is more of a pronoun antecedent question, or in other words, you need to figure out which noun does this pronoun refer to. So, I'd say that this is something that is mentioned in the last paragraph. So if I go to the last paragraph, no, not the last one, it's not here. Must have been the second last then. Where did it go? Actually, last paragraph. I was right initially. So this them. So what do we have before it? Population, climate change, consumption. So population, consumption, climate change. So which one of these talks about population, consumption, climate change? There is no option that talks about all the three, but I think C will be the best answer because that consumption was also a result of increasing human population. So C should work, and therefore I think we can go ahead and pick it up. So question 3, the answer should be option C. We just needed to figure out what is being referred to with the help of this pronoun. Here is the fourth one. Okay, the answer here is D. Now this is a weird question. You may look at it like, yaar ye kaisa matlab, we've already looked at B and C in one of those previous questions. So, but then that's how Maharashtra CET is. At times the design of the paper can be a little off. You may look at it and like, oh, aisa kaise, but hai. So we already know that B and C are true. A, yes, remember they used the term a million, which is 10 lakhs. So therefore D. And here is the last question from the passage for you. So this is what we call an idea restatement question. Let us see what you go ahead and choose for it. Okay. So if we need to look at this, annihilation is not too speedy and commonplace for us to even recognize such species. So what does it mean? Too speedy and commonplace. I mean, when you look at D, it is not a daily business. Business is something that you actively engage in. Moreover, they try to make up for the loss. That's not something. So we become numb to it. It is not even news for us now. So D is definitely wrong. The problem with E is this scientific categorization without being, it's not what we have here. So the idea here is species, so many species have been dying so fast that we ignore it. You remember there is this very famous quote, news, what is news? What can become news? Something that is unusual, right? So if a dog bites a man, that is not news. If a man bites a dog, that is news. So something that happens very frequently, you tend to screen it out, you stop paying attention to it, even if it is bad. And that's what is being talked about, and that is given best in C. The problem with B is they do care. They do care. That's wrong. It should have been they do not care. So C is going to be the best one. I think Nikita has managed to get this right. So has Harshit, and I think Aman as well. Right? Shaheen too. So that's about the passage. Let's move over to our next set. Question number 6 is going to be a 5-sentence para jumble for you. Okay. So here is the question along with the options. Go ahead and give it your best shot. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, oops, sorry. हाँ जी, so what does this it refer to? Has to be fox hunting, right? And look at D. Small issues sometimes have large symbolic power. This is very general. The rest of the sentences talk about the symbolic power of fox hunting for different categories, for different groups. That tells us that D must come before the other four sentences, which helps us eliminate three of the answer choices. And when I look at B, and to everybody watching, the current mess symbolizes, so you need to have something else about fox hunting placed before it. So B needs to have at least one of these other three sentences coming before. It cannot be the first one of that set. So option D is also ruled out. And therefore we'd go ahead and pick up option A. Hey, we are not performing very well in parajumbles on an average, okay? It's either taking us longer or accuracy rates are lower. I'd recommend that you do focus a little more on parajumbles, huh? I've taken various sessions on parajumbles. It's asked in the CAT as well. Of course, the questions there are non-MCQs, but the principle would still remain the same. On our channel, you'd find quite a few sessions on parajumbles. Go ahead, watch those ones, huh? And that should help. But there is this late charge. Jeet, Shaheen, Harshit, Chaitanya, absolutely. Komal, you too. Fabulous. So here is the next set for you. Question number 7, 8 and 9 are going to be based on grammar, specifically error identification. So I'll give you a sentence divided into 4 parts. And then of course you have no error as your fifth answer choice. Your time starts now. All right. So the correct answer here is C. Instead of at, what we needed was in. Wrong preposition. All of you have spotted it. So taking you over to the next one now. And the clock is ticking. All right. So the correct answer here is B. This should be people's. Good, people is already plural. So people apostrophe S. When do you use an apostrophe at the end without that S? When the noun already has an S at the end. That's not the case with people, and that's why that is the error. Subtle, huh? But a lot of us did fall for it apparently. So that said, here is the next one. Shoot. So you know that may is used for seeking permission, whereas we are not seeking permission here, we are requesting. So when it comes to request, could will be more appropriate. So I'd actually say, could you check? You can also use can if it is an informal or casual relationship. You may also use would, even that will work, but may, no. Even might can work, you know, might is also used for polite requests, but then those are situations where you're being very polite and it is a very formal situation. May is not used for requests, and that is why the correction is A. Now for the next question, the next three questions are basically oriented on idioms. So I'll give you an idiom, I'll ask you for its meaning, starting with question number 10. Okay, so the correct answer here is going to be option B, which I think most of you have anyway managed to figure out. So ginger up means to make something more exciting, more interesting, more active, more lively. So for example, about they have gingered up the book cover with a new design, but the content remains the same. So gingered up the book cover, made it more exciting. Here is the next question for you. This time around the idiom is harp on the same string, the clock ticking. I guess this should be relatively easy. The correct answer is option D. So harp on the same string is to spend a lot of time on a single subject or topic. Okay, so to dwell tediously and repeatedly on the same thing, especially when it comes to complaints. So it actually comes from, harp is a musical instrument, right? So it's likened to playing the same note over and over again on a harp, which can of course after a while become rather irritating. And with that, your next question, shoot. This is phrasal verb. This is testing your understanding of phrasal verbs. Prerna, I wish that were an option. That's not, is it? Okay, so the correct answer for question number 12 is option C. If I look at the other expressions here, fall back on is when you begin to hold, when you begin to use something that you held in reserve. Fall back on. Fritter away is to waste time, to waste money. Ferret out is to discover something after searching. You know, you're looking for something and then you are able to successfully discover it or find that. So you'd call it ferret out. So that was question number 12. And here are the directions for the next three. fill in the blank, yes, but so far I think the last couple of sessions, not the couple, at least the previous one and in some of the sessions before that, I gave you fill in the blanks which were vocabulary driven. Today the questions majorly are grammar driven. Okay, so these are going to be grammar based fill in the blanks for you. Here is 13th. She says, why didn't I take the lecture yesterday? Acha, that last lab series, yeah, that series has been postponed. So we just, it is still at the planning end. We'll start it soon. We're supposed to start it from 22nd, but we will resume that. Yeah. We'll start that again. We'll start that soon rather. So the correct answer for 13th is B. Impactful is an adjective. You don't need an adjective. This is the place of a verb. Effect is a noun. Impactful is an adjective. So both of these would have been grammatically incorrect. Affect, on the other hand, is a verb and can definitely go in here. So the answer is B. Here is your next question. Yup. So the correct answer once again is B. You need that for, except for the noise of Mary typing. There was one additional thing that was happening here, isn't it? So we had to go ahead and mention that. We had to go there and talk about that. So except is used without for only when you have some generalizing word before it. All, every, no, everything, anybody, nobody, nowhere, whole, such things. So because you don't have any such generalizing word before here, you need to use except for. And here is the next question. This can be tricky for some of us, so do think over it carefully. All right, so the correct answer here is C. It will not be A. The reason is as is a conjunction, and if you're using a conjunction, you will not use a semicolon here. Then it had to be a, then you need to remove this. Then it is going to be a comma instead of a semicolon. And that is by C. So that's what I brought for you. Don't forget to hit the like button, and once again another reminder that you are supposed to appear for the All India Open Mock if you haven't done so yet. And of course, if you are not able to perform to your potential, don't forget that we have a course at a very attractive price. You can definitely consider it. And I have a request. In case you know anybody who is preparing for CAT 24, could you tell them about a scholarship test that we are conducting tomorrow? I'm sure they can write it and learn something from it, and if they perform well, actually get an amazing scholarship as well. So that's it from me today. I look forward to meeting you guys tomorrow at 12, where we will focus on the verbal reasoning part of Maharashtra CET. That part at times gets less attention from us. वर्बल में लगे रहते हैं, फिर रीजनिंग वाले अलग चलते रहते हैं, उसमें ये वाले सारे सवाल आ नहीं पाते. तो कल थोड़ा है ना syllogism, critical reasoning, statement assumption. Let's just revisit those questions once, right? So until then, have a nice day ahead, and I look forward to meeting you again tomorrow at 12. See you.